push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a first down.
Well, we got beefeaters licking their chops and tasty dish in one fell swoop.
I did apologize in advance, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That line's not eating tofu, I'll tell you that much for free.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
On 1st and 10, Love. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. A first carry for Samaje Perine. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
They'll fake it. Now Love. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And it'll be Jaguar football as they take over deep in their own territory. And now out come the Jags. And they were in field goal range last time out, but couldn't connect.
And it's early in the game, so I don't think that the confidence just goes entirely out of, running your kicker back out there. But let's...
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. From the shotgun, Ryan. Throw left side complete. It's Fuller. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25. The numbers for Fuller last week. 6 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown.
This defense is ranked near the bottom of the league against the pass. You get the sense that he feels like if he gets covered on any call, he's going to be upset. He thinks he should be open on every snap in this game.
Hey, guy. Hey. Hey, wait. Gun.
Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. That's caught by Jackson. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
There we go. Left. 11. Hey, Rick Lynch.
On 2nd down, Ryan. And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Whitney merciless. In there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
There we go. Hey, got. 39.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Ryan. He finds his target, Fuller. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a first down. First down, a run with Hyde. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
21.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Ryan finds Roberts left side. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
Hey, Tuesday. Gun. Gun. 21. Wait. Gun. Wait. Here we go.
To throw on third down. Ryan, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Well, that was their third sack of the ball game. Second in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the second spot pretty soon. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. And they're not going to get a playoff here as time will expire on this. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. They take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory.
Hey, look out.
Now it's locked. Throw right side, caught by Davis. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
You got 4. Check out. Ready.
Here's P-Rod. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 2 yards gets them back to where they started, but now 3rd and 10.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
This time, Ryan will throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Fuller. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That'll give him 60 yards receiving now as he's got a 1st down. Now Ryan on 1st down. And the catch made here by Marquise Lee. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another 1st. To throw is Ryan. He's got Fuller. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. The Jags with their first opportunity in the red zone. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16.
22.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. It's a foot race. He's at the 30, 10. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Charles, we've seen them target one of their main weapons time and time again. Maybe they went to that well too many times there.
Yeah, and it's so difficult to determine how many times is too many, because how many times have we seen a team go and play and say, until they stop us, we'll keep going. Well, they got stopped on that one, and it cost them 6 points.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This fielded at the 2. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And let's shift our attention to Will Fuller, sitting right around the midpoint of the season, on pace for 1,000 yards. Good year so far, and I'm sure film study being devoted to him a little bit more on the other side.
They have to, because the pace that he's carrying right now, if you're pushing 1,000-yard pace as a receiver, that means he warrants your attention. And right now, precision is going on with their offense. Kind of like that timepiece you wear on your wrist. You know, the good stuff. You got to knock that off somehow. Chip away at that timing. Change things up a little bit and make them go to other things and make them do those things better.
Yeah, try to make him uncomfortable. Not many teams have been able to do that so far this year. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football. 3rd and 1, partner. No need to be fancy there. Just use some force and move forward and pick up the 1st down.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Throw left side complete. It's Lee. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A very solid gain of 27.
39.
On 1st down, Ryan. It's complete to Fuller. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1.
Hey, Tuesday. Hey, Tuesday.
Here's Ryan to throw. And he whips that one incomplete there. Marquise Lee, the intended target, and it's 3rd and short. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Throwing again, Ryan. Completes it to Spencer Ware. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 1st down, Jacksonville. The passing game looking sharp on this drive for the Jags. 2 minutes remain here in the 1st half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
And this carry terminated at the 8-yard line. Good stick skills showing the power, but just not much room to operate. On 2nd down, and he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard. Now the Jags are moving quickly in the hurry-up.
Hey, let's go.
They'll run it. Here's Hyde. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal. They'll run for it with Hyde. nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle, and he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. Carlos Hyde, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Jaguars are within an extra point of tying this one up. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, whether they want to let their return guy touch it.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
Back to throw. Luck. Bryant with a catch right side. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. A shotgun snap for Luck. And left side here to block their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On first down, Luck. Caught right side, Davis. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. To the air again, Luck. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the veteran Brian Arakpo. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line.
Offensively, when you see cover 2, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see what results? Interceptions.
Here's Ryan. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. It was Ricardo Allen there on the coverage. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Fuller brings it in over the middle. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Ryan now closing in on a 200-yard first half through the air. It's 1st and 10.
Right. 22.
Ryan. This is caught. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Will Fuller, as the first half is winding down, and the Jags are able to cash in for 6.
And that touchdown gives them a touchdown lead before they attempt the extra point. What a great way to end the half.
Yeah, great job to put themselves in front, and now see on the sideline, special teams defense scrambling, saying we want to preserve this for the final moments of this second quarter. Now the try here for the extra point. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. 15 seconds, all that remains for this first half as they come up 1st and 10. It's Pirine to begin the drive. Broke a tackle, but not much room there ultimately. Just up past the 25 and no further. It's Steve McClendon that time who winds up getting him down. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. They'll run it here with Pirine. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Now a look at Will Fuller as he and the rest of the offense gears up to get ready to go again. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
They'll throw on first down with Ryan. Buying time, and he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Eric Armstead in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Tuesday. Hey, got it. Hey, express. Got it. Let's go.
On second down, here's Ryan. Being chased out left. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And that's caught inside the 30. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. A big third down play there for the Jags. 92 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
They'll run high, and he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. He'll get it up the middle, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And that is incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
A field goal would make it a 2-score game, but they're going to go aggressive. They're going to try this thing on 4th and goal. They'll try and throw for it with Ryan. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Tyler Eifert, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
The extra point up and good, and it's now 21-7. That time a 6-play drive, and it culminates in a Jags touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone, and he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Back to the air, Luck on 2nd down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Throwing on 3rd down. Luck looking for Gronkowski, and he's got him complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll run again with P-Ryan. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Luck now to throw. And that's incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Setting up the screen to P-Ryan. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll go as a 9-yard loss on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Lachlan Edwards now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Matt Ryan in the offense heading back on. To the field. He has been consistent, hasn't he? He played well in the first quarter. Good second quarter, and now continuing that here in the third.
And that's the word that they're always seeking from the guy taking the snaps, is consistency. Taking care of the ball, making sure it gets to the right people, no errors, right? Not turning it over, and just doing all the right things. That's leadership, and it inspires confidence in a team.
Yeah, been a good leadership and a good distributor. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
11. 21. Gun. 20. Get up. Right.
This time Ryan will throw. He's going to rifle one deep left. It got his man complete. And they do finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 41. A big 3rd down play there for the Jags. And even 40 yards.
20. Let's go.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
21. 20. On. Gun.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. And he finds a man on a crossing route. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
I know we just saw a nice throw and catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
Check.
They pitch it out to Hyde. And he's going to be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Got his man. It's Eifert. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. They're going on 4th down. It's Ryan. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked up by Xavier Howard. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And some strong running. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
Yeah, on 4th and inches, you've got to be quick with your decision-making when you're running the football. You've got to find the hole and go. And he does a nice job here picking up the 1st down with a few yards to spare.
Now a 1st down throw, Luck. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's 2nd down. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Off of play action, Luck. Over the middle, it's taken in by Gronkowski. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. They've got another 1st down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now it's Luck. Looks for Parker, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
After the interception, here's Ryan. Flush to his right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on it at 2nd down.
I remember a coach telling me a long time ago the difference between playing corner and safety in the NFL. Corner is like the Autobahn. Everybody just flying by, and these corners have been really busy in this game, although they got it done on the last play.
On the last play, yes, but there have been some good numbers put up against them offensively.
20, 20, go! Gun.
2nd and 10, it's Ryan again. Forced out to his left. Man open left side is Brown. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. They give him a gain of 37. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. They'll give to Hyde. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down.
Gun. Hey, express. 21. Gun. Check. Crunch. Right.
On 2nd down, Ryan. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Tyler Eifert with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Jaguars add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. No problem there on the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out, and there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate, and of course they'd like to forget the ending, the interception, but they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. To throw on 2nd down is Locke. Throwing left side, he's got Gronk, complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. From the gun on 3rd down, Locke. And he's got a man, Corey Davis. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Solid gain of 18 and a Raider 1st down. On 1st and 10, Locke. He gets it into the hands of Gronkowski, complete. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That goes for a gain of 31. Now they got to get to the line quickly. On 1st down, it's Locke. And this is caught at the 8. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down. Throwing again is Locke. Look at the time. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Rob Gronkowski, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Raiders get a score closer.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve. And
you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And the Jaguars are going to cover this one up. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Oh, look at this. Ryan's going to throw it. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Ryan. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's 3rd down. Well, interceptions have been a problem in this one. If he could have gotten his feet down here, it would have been another.
Would have been a huge one. They've had a great game taking the ball away. Thought they had another one, just unable to get those cleats in bounds.
Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth.
4 down, check, 4 down. Hey, express, 11. Hey, express.
From midfield now, here's Ryan. He finds his target, Fuller. That one a backbreaker as they wind up converting there on fourth.
And they pick up the first down on a fourth down play. I don't know if the defense relaxed because they thought maybe they'd stopped him on third down or if they just didn't protect the sticks very well. But, boy, that's a big-time pickup right there.
Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on first and goal. Ryan wants to throw it. And it's caught. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Carlos Hyde with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. Point after, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Andrew Luck and company heading back onto the field. So as you see the numbers, a very uncharacteristic start, but he's been more characteristic as of late.
And usually we're seeing a very good start out of him because, let's face it, he's one of the best out there. But when he does have a start, as we just saw, would you call it uncharacteristic? You know mentally he's not that worried about it. He knows how good he is and figures he's going to get back on the beam real fast.
And Luck will be intercepted for a third time. Picked off right around the 43.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Will Fuller, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Jags take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them.
Still first down.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. Out of the gun, Luck. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Trying to get it there to Martavis Bryant. That'll bring up 2nd down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Luck on 1st down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Anderson Aho. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Jaguars, the win means they'll finish the first half at a respectable 5-3 record. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they fall 2 games under 500 now at 3-5. And they will be at home next week to take on the Miami.